Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we're looking at yet another ship that is currently available in the shipyard, and coincidentally also happens to be an HE spammer, the Mikhail Kutuzov. This Soviet Tier 8 premium light cruiser. Well, the Soviet light cruisers were kind of the original high explosive spam ships, together with the Japanese cruisers. They are no longer, because the American light cruisers are there and doing a relatively decent job of this as well. This is a good ship, and she used to be extremely powerful, but she's not the only powerful HE spammer anymore at Tier 8. Something like the Cleveland can definitely hold up in terms of usability. But what is this ship like? So she's very much similar to the Shores and the Chapayev on the tech tree. Kind of the same lack of armor protection, speed, maneuverability, and a set of 12 rapid-firing 152mm main guns, with a 6% fire chance, which is pretty decent, and a good HE damage as well. Plus, the firing arcs are very flat, as you're used to from Soviet ships. This one gets a set of torpedoes, which again for Soviet torpedoes are uncharacteristically long range with 6 kilometers, and she gets two quintuple launchers, one on each side. A little bit special is what you get in the ship skills, because while you usually get precise aiming and AA defense on Soviet ships, the Kutuzov also gets Kutuzov. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. I couldn't really find anything online, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of similar like that. Also gets a smokescreen, a single one. Other than that, she is again extremely similar to what you get from the Shores or from the Chapayev in the tech tree. So, is this ship still viable? Is this ship still, given the recent changes in fire damage, and is this ship, well, something that you would want to get out of the shipyard? So, let's play a couple of battles and we'll have a look at it. In our first battle, we are playing Encounter, and it looks like we're bottom tier, but there's a failed platoon on the enemy team with a Tier 7 West Virginia in a Tier 9 game. Let's go. 3 destroyers, Yugomo, Fletcher, and Kagero. And we are, well, there's an Amalfi here as well, so we should have enough cruiser power to deal with these things. Now, like I mentioned, this ship is very lightly armored. She cannot take much in terms of hits. And that said, with the armor piercing loaded, she is very, very dangerous against destroyers, even though she doesn't actually have a hydro or a radar. So compared to, say, like a Cleveland, but she does get a better firing arc, more direct flat arcs, and these guns hurt. So, right, we're spawning in the center, so I'm going to take the left flank unless one of the battleships decides to go. Usually the destroyers will go, but it's a cross spawn, so there are going to be 3 enemy ships over on that side, and given that there are 3 destroyers on the enemy team, I'm expecting at least 1 destroyer to come around here, plus probably one of the battleships. So this is what I like about light cruisers, or cruisers in general. They're versatile. I can deal with the destroyers easily, and I can at least hold the battleships at bay and make their life unpleasant enough until I get reinforcement. Okay, we've got a Yugomo spotted by our Benson, who's taken an aggressive forward scout here. The Yugomo hasn't seen me yet, so surprise! That's a little bit of a brown alert moment for the Yugomo, because suddenly he is right next to a Kutuzov. And yeah, that's going to hurt. It's going to slow down. There's a West Virginia shooting at me, but that's half the Yugomo's health. So I can't obviously broadside myself, and the Yugomo might also have torpedoes away, but give him some parting shots from the armor piercing, and now he's on low enough health that none of the battleships over there should have any problem whatsoever, especially the Bismarck, dealing with this guy. If he decides to come around, or if he just wants to hide behind the island, then that's good as well. But he's not coming around and flanking our battleships or threatening our cap. So now we've got the Richelieu and the West Virginia over there. Let's see if we can get some fire set. And I'm going in here in reverse because I am setting myself up to sail away in case they're becoming aggressive against me. but because I don't know what they're targeting. Okay, they're not actually targeting me, so I can hold this position, but I'm setting myself up such that if I need to, I can trade space or ocean space for safety and range. But now the Richelieu is not shooting at me either. So now these two of them are having two battleships, plus they're starting to come under fire from a Soviet light cruiser. And the Richelieu kind of looks like he's pointing his guns at me. Then it's on fire. Let's see if he damage cons. He does. And I think the Richelieu has had enough, so he decides, no, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to take this. Now, again, if I hadn't been here, they might have just run down the flank and they endangered our cap and our battleships, because these were two battleships and a destroyer. Meanwhile, our team seems to have completely rolled up the enemy team over there. The Richelieu is running away so fast that I can't even keep up with him in reverse, because I wasn't set up to actually chase him. But, well, that happened. So our flank is secure. Our destroyers have pushed through. We've taken out two enemy destroyers, and the rest of the enemy team is scrambling to secure their cap. Now, this is the point where we need to start pushing, because we've got the battleships have range, and I have an excellent range on this ship. I don't have something to shoot at right now, so time to turn the ship around. And yeah, double Bismarck over here, probably not having too much to shoot at. So come on, guys, let's go and see if we can push back. Because while we are two ships ahead, that doesn't mean quite yet that this whole thing is won. Although that West Virginia seems to be extremely low on health, and there's a bit less than half health North Carolina, so he's going to be my next target. Now, American battleship, again, taking advantage of the improved or of the reduced fire damage. Now, he's not currently shooting at me, so I can go a little bit closer, but I don't want to be too close. I just want to be in long enough range that I'm reasonably good, certain that I'm getting hits in. Right? See, damage controls the fire. See if we can set him on fire again. Aim a little bit lower. I think he's coming slightly towards me. And he's being chased by destroyers, so he's probably also distracted. So that's a double perma fire. And just waiting if he's shooting at me. If he's turning the guns around. No, doesn't look like. Well, no, he's on 3 fires. So yeah, even being in an American battleship does not save you from being burned to the ground. Now, okay, he's shooting at me, so I'm turning in just to dodge some of those shots, and they're just not doing an awful lot. And that's another fire, and the North Carolina is dead. So at this point, some parting shots. There's a Kagero, it's the only remaining destroyer, but we've rolled up the enemy team pretty nicely, and now it's just a matter of mopping up. So. Again, you're in a cruiser doesn't mean that what you do all game long is to burn down battleships. So most of the time you will be in one of two roles, really. You will either be defending against destroyers or chasing off destroyers, and then the other one will be that if you need to do damage over time, then you can actually rain fire on battleships at maximum range. And the Kutuzov is very good at that. You are occasionally going to be able to land some torpedo hits, but most of the time you don't want to play this ship at close enough range that you can actually do something with the torpedoes, because 6 kilometer is a range at which enemy battleships or even enemy heavy cruisers can make your life very, very interesting. Okay, there's that Richelieu from earlier. Let's see if we can do something about him, but I think he's going to be running into a whole wall of torpedoes with these two destroyers closing in on him. So just dropping some shells from the distance. But yeah, that's a triple fire. Well, 2 were from me. He obviously damage cons that, but he's, like I said, he's going to run into all these torpedoes, so he's very, very dead. That just leaves the Cleveland, and against the Cleveland you can actually switch over to the armor piercing, because, well, light cruiser, even though Cleveland is a relatively sturdy cruiser, but the 150mm armor piercing, well, Cleveland isn't going to live long enough for another shot to land, but definitely has enough power to do something about that. So yeah, if you're in a cruiser, mostly your role is to play support. You're not usually the one to deal the insane damage numbers. That's not quite what you're there for, or at least not how I'm playing these ships. I'm playing them more on a tactical level and making sure that I'm doing the right thing. So 8 fires set, and we've done about 10,000 points of fire damage. Let's do another one. Now this time around we are top tier, and we're playing on Friar's Lantern. It's one of the new maps, but we do have 2 Bensons on the enemy team, and just generally a good mix of everything. In terms of AA, again, the Kutuzov is not an American cruiser. She does have a decent amount of AA, and she can play the AA support role, but she doesn't have the devastating AA that you have on the American cruisers. All right, let's see. Probably gonna head over to C, because I do like to be on the flank with this ship, and there's a lot of cover around C Cup, whereas the central area around A Cup is quite open. Plus, with 2 enemy destroyers, one of them could be going B Cup, so we'll find that out. Anyway, I'm switching over to the armor piercing just in case I'm going to run into one of the destroyers. Let's see. But I'm definitely quick. The quicker one here to run for C, and it looks like the Bensons are going to head over to A. I've got some battleship support here. That's also important. The best way to rack up the fire damage is by being able to shoot at enemy ships that aren't shooting back at you. Okay, 1 enemy destroyer in B, potentially both of them. But let's see. I can grab C Cup, and then we'll slow down here and see what comes around the corner. Obviously, if one of the battleships gets me spotted, okay, 1 destroyer is over in A. And that means the other one is probably over in B Cup. But, oh no, they're both over in A. Okay, so none of them went over here. All right, it's a Bismarck. Okay, Bismarck is pretty quick, and the Amalfi was probably the one capping. So I'm going to back off here, because I want to have my maximum range. Bismarck shooting at someone else. So I'm just going to see if I can do something, and at the same time get that mountain here between myself and the enemy ships. So there's definitely more. There's another battleship back there. Okay, that's 1 fire on the Bismarck. Bismarck's turning, but he doesn't seem to be shooting back at me quite yet. The North Carolina does this. But the Bensons are breaking through. So at this point, I need to change priority. I can't farm the Bismarck, but I do need to deal with the Bensons. And at least with the one that's breaking through, because that North Carolina there is not going to last much longer. So that's a dead Benson. But now I'm alone, and the whole rest of my team is over in A Cup. And I'm alone against 2 battleships and 2 cruisers, who are still trying to kill the North Carolina? Yes, now it's a dead North Carolina. So now they don't have anything else to shoot at. So this is probably a good time to bugger off from here. And I'm going to use my smoke screen to disengage, because I'm going to temporarily give broadside to 2 battleships and 2 cruisers. And that's another fire on the Bismarck. Not sure if his damage con is still on cooldown, but might be. I'm just keeping the fire up, but I need to get out of here. Okay, that's 2 perma fires on the Bismarck. I do need to get out of here. I can't stand and fight, not against this amount of firepower. So I'm going to open up the range and just see if I can dodge the shells as much as possible. There's some Bismarck shots coming in. Took a couple, but nothing devastating. Okay, there's an Amalfi as well. That's actually probably more dangerous than the other ones. I'm not sure what 200mm SAP is going to do against me, but given the amount of armor I'm having, probably a lot of unpleasant things. Also, the Amalfi has torps. So I'm just going to try and get behind that island there, because I can't hold C on my own. I've dropped some torpedoes just in case anybody sails into that direction. And then I'm going to get behind that island and see if I can annoy people. Okay, Amalfi is on fire. No damage con. Well, suits me fine. I'll set you up. There's the damage con. Wait, I'm not going to get another fire, but I do need to... I'm down to half health, so I do need to get something solid between myself and these people. And then kite away and give my team time to catch up. Just the thing is, while these guys are shooting at me, they're not shooting at my team. And if they're shooting at me, my team's got flanking shots into the other side. So for example, that North Carolina there, who looks like he's going to shoot at me. Is he? Yeah, he's shooting at me. So I'm going to try and turn out and see if I can dodge a couple of those shells. Oh, That's not too bad. And that's a fire on the North Carolina. The 2 battleships up there can hopefully get flanking fire into him. And if not, I'm just going to keep shooting at him. So my team has caught up. Unfortunately, one of the enemy destroyers is left over. So I'm just going to try and dodge under these shots. Yo, that hurt. Did not quite work. I think the dispersion, the dreadful dispersion of the North Carolina actually worked in his favor there, because I was trying to turn under his shells, and it looked like at least one of them landed a citadel because it went wide. But the North Carolina seems to be fed up, or maybe he's getting shot at from someone else. So he's running away. It doesn't want to be burnt down. So okay, at this point I can chase after him. And again, we're 2 kills ahead. We're holding 2 caps. There's still that destroyer over in A cap, but there's not much I can do from over here. So I have dealt with one destroyer, and now the North Carolina is fighting other battleships there, and that is the perfect scenario to farm them, really, because you're going to try and get some. Oh, there come shots in again against me. So hopefully. Oh, yep. This is fine. This is fine. I was really not expecting that. I thought he would have been shooting at the Richelieu, but because he was right in front of him, and he would have. But he was really looking for the kill. Okay, that Benson there is my duty now. I'm on 1,300 hit points. That's about 1,315 more than I really need. As long as Benson isn't shooting at me. Let's see if he is, or if I can just scare him off. Because these ships are scary. And Benson is on relatively low health. I mean, he will have probably torpedoes away, so I'm just going to slow down just in case he drops torps because he's not firing. But now he cannot fire anymore because he's dead. And that pretty much concludes this, because we've mopped up the rest of them, and we've done what we could. So again, you see there are situations where you can farm battleships and just set fires. But oftentimes you will just be more busy on things like destroyer hunting duties. She cannot hold a position at all. And you do need to stay at maximum range. But the guns are nice and precise. And the fire chance isn't bad with 6%. So you can set a reasonable amount of fire. She's no Bayard. But very comparable to things like the Chapayev or the Shores. And you do have a reasonable amount of torpedoes. So if anybody decides that they do want to play it up close, or you can get into a situation where you can ambush, say, a battleship and get a torpedo spread in, that's very reasonable as well. But this is kind of what you can expect from the ship, really. Is she unique? Not really, playstyle wise. Like, the single smokescreen doesn't make a huge amount of a difference, and if you take the Mistweaver skill for that one smokescreen is a bit of a question as well. The HE spammer playstyle is still viable, but it's not going to be your main priority most of the time. It's good if you can get yourself into positions and start fires, and we've done again like 15,000 damage. So this is kind of the amount of damage you can expect still. It would have been a little bit more previously, but not huge amounts more. You can, I would say, if you like this kind of ship and you really like Soviet ships, and you're already happy with Shores and Chapayev, and you want another one in your repertoire, which is a little bit, has a little, it's a premium, maybe a captain trainer, or has a bit of a quirk on it, then sure, go for it. But if you're looking for something that you can play aggressively, and something that can take a bit of a beating, and you're not playing a super tactical game, then these are probably not the right ships. They are very dependent on playing them the right way, of keeping good map overview, map presence, and being in the right position at the right time is kind of crucial to make these work. So that's that. That's it for today. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.